This is Dr. Whooves. Sometimes he is this pony, other times he is this pony, and other times he is this pony. Sometimes he's even this pony. So what's with this guy? Is he a time traveler? A clone? Do we get any answers whatsoever? Well, strap in because here's literally everything to know about the character. In Season 1, this unnamed incidental pony appeared multiple times as a humble background character, just to fill in some crowd shots. Though, thanks to the fact that he has spiky brown hair and a time-related cutie mark, people drew similarities to the 10th Doctor from the British show Doctor Who, and the character was given the name Dr. Whooves by fans as a reference to the character. Because of this, a lot of fanworks imagined him to have an English accent.
Oh, I'm the Doctor.
The doctor of what?
Oh, well, I'm just the Doctor.
So, let's take a moment to imagine the audience's reaction to building up hype for this character who we all thought would have a very specific accent when he got his first speaking role in the show.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure, but you're not absolutely positively completely super duper sure, are you?
If I buy some apples, will you please leave me alone?
And 4 episodes later when we got this.
She's talking to you!
Oh, I guess that's me.
They must have been more disappointed in this than my parents are in me. Oh no, wait, that's impossible. But speaking of fan stuff, in fanfiction, Dr. Whooves is often accompanied by what's called a companion, which is basically the term for Doctor Who's sidekicks in the show. Some examples of this include Twilight Sparkle for, some reason. Well, we'll come back to this. Though, I mean, she's the main character of the show. Let's give the companion role to someone who actually needs the spotlight. Rose Luck, because of her resemblance to Rose Tyler, a Doctor Who companion, which actually makes sense. And last, but definitely the one you were thinking of, Derpy Whooves. If you've been in the fandom for some time, you have definitely seen this pairing before, so you might be wondering how this even started. Well, the main cause of it, other than the fact that they share the same last name, well, depending on how you spell it at least, and how the two are sometimes seen together in the background, the ship seems to stem, or at least have been popularized, from this Tumblr blog called Ask Lovestruck Derpy, which was run by this individual named Bald Dumblerat, who's an intriguing individual whose story is probably best left for a separate video. Anyways, this blog consists of a love-struck Derpy who's in love with Dr. Whooves answering questions from viewers. In fact, there's a dub of the blog done by Bald Dumblerat, so let's take a gander at it real quick.
When did you first realize you were in love with the Doctor? Was it from the first moment you saw him? Or did it take a while?
I'm not really sure. One moment I was traveling with him through time and space. The next I was in love. Love is just silly like that, I guess.
What is your favorite quality of the Doctor?
Everything! Oh my gosh, did I just say that? How embarrassing!
I don't know if you guys find this kind of stuff to be extremely cute or if you find it grossly cringe, but either way, I had to watch it, so I'm subjecting it to you whether you like it or not. Interestingly enough, aside from Derpy, Dr. Whooves has also been shipped with Twilight Sparkle and sometimes even Pinkie Pie, which seems like not really a fun pairing, but this DeviantArt page, Dr. Pie Fun, seems to be quite interesting. Hello, this is a group dedicated to the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic characters, Dr. Whooves and Pinkie Pie, either as friends, as a couple, Join here if do you ship them. Well, who could say no to that? So, because Doctor Who, the show, is about time and dimensional travel, it led people to ask, is Dr. Whooves really the Doctor from Doctor Who just so happened to travel to a pony dimension? Or does he just happen to be the pony version of Doctor Who? Or is he even a Doctor Who reference? Was this even intended to be one? Did fans just take some random guy in the background and associate a super intricate backstory for him? Well, the fan-made audio drama Dr. Whooves and Assistant considers Dr. Whooves to actually be the Doctor from Doctor Who traveled dimensions and ended up in Equestria. The first 3 parts of this 14-episode series have been turned into full-fledged animation, so let's take a peek at these.
You're a really strange pony, you know that?
Oh, can't debate that really, but what's really strange is your eyes. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I have it. Do all ponies have that?
No, it's just me.
Oh, what's wrong with them? Is it a medical condition? A birth defect?
I don't want to talk about it, okay?
I mean, as we just witnessed, the visual contents aren't too striking, but the animation's still pretty good for something fan-made back in 2012. Another piece of fan audio drama is Dr. Who's Adventures. What a really unique name for a title. Which unfortunately doesn't have any animation to go along with it, but it features spike abuse, which made me laugh because it caught me off guard when I first listened to it.
Ugh, you lazy reptile! Not even an explosion could wake you from your nap.
The plot of Dr. Who's Adventures is Dr. Who's landing in Ponyville in the TARDIS, destroying Twilight's house, and the two going on adventures, which should technically not be possible at all since Dr. Who's was already in Ponyville before Twilight decided to move there. And of course, how could we talk about Dr. Who's time-traveling adventures without bringing up the song Stuck in Time by the Living Tombstone? Wow, those were some intelligible vocals. I was definitely able to understand every single word he was singing. However, on the other hand, the fanfic Sepia Talk, written by Canvas Wolfdoll, goes into the very opposite direction of this, writing this pony as a completely ordinary clock shop owner named Sepia Talk that others confuse for a time traveler, which is pretty much meta commentary on the fandom seeing Dr. Who's as someone cool when he's really not. Despite all this, what side did the official media take? Did the show acknowledge the whole Doctor Who thing? Well, yeah, actually, kind of, sort of. The thing is, they probably put this guy deliberately in this shot of ponies laughing at Twilight at the idea of time travel.
I've just been visited by myself from the future. This isn't a joke!
This would suggest the fact that he is in fact not a time traveler. Not only that, but he also finds the very idea of time travel to be laughable. But on the other hand, they could have put him here so that he blends in with the crowd and no one can actually suspect the fact that he's secretly a time traveler. Also, the alternate cover art for issue 20 of the IDW comics features Dr. Who's looking at a Dalek, a species from Doctor Who, which I suppose you could argue isn't exactly a compelling piece of evidence, since we also see the My Little Pony logo on the same image, which shouldn't be possible at all without breaking the fourth wall. Also, that's a great reference to Bone. I don't usually encourage people to read it, but that series goes hard. Anyways, there's some non-universe breaking evidence we can draw from comic covers, such as this reference to the TARDIS, or this reference to the Fourth Doctor, or this reference to Weeping Angels. Also, remember when I brought up Roseluck earlier and how fans draw a connection from her to Doctor Who's companion Rose? Well, the storyboarders, or animators, or layout artists, or whoever's in charge of putting all these ponies in their respective locations, seem to have really liked pairing Dr. Who's and Roseluck together. In fact, there's this one instance of Doc wearing 3D glasses, which is a direct reference to Doctor Who, so you know what? Do with all this information as you will. I mean, there's also the fact that Dr. Who shares his cutie mark with a ridiculous amount of ponies, which some people have interpreted as different incarnations of doctors or his companions. I mean, on top of all of that, the show's crew actually accepted the name Dr. Who's, though he was given the name Time Turner in merchandise and the mobile game, but eventually it was changed to Dr. Who's. But then you think about it for a second, Time Turner, doesn't that imply time travel? If he's turning time? Unless if his job is to literally turn these time things like he did in one episode. What a great use of your life. Speaking of the show's crew and other official stuff, the season 5 episode Slice of Life acknowledges Dr. Who's as being friends with Derpy, and it also shows us that he has a fascination for science and technology. Also, he was finally retconned into having a British accent.
Going back in time is old thinking, my friend. I was working off a cutting-edge theory of making time come forward to you.
Which I guess is a big W for the fandom, for everyone who liked the idea of him being Doctor Who, but at the same time, it's a gigantic L for people who don't like Brits. If you're watching this far, thank you so much. Naturally, feel free to leave a comment on what pony you would like me to make a history video like this next. Anyways, if you would like to support the future of this channel, I have opened up a Patreon page. Pledgers will get exclusive benefits, and funds from it will directly go back into the channel. Of course, don't feel obligated to, but donations will help me get out more videos like this out to you guys faster. Needless to say, if you do pledge, a big chunk of my soul shall forever be in your debt. On a side note, if you've been wondering where the heck I've been for the last month or so, Basically, I made this video that's over an hour long, but it's been stuck in copyright hell to the point where I've made 44 different alterations to the video. Still, the copyright detection system won't budge, so I'm in the middle of filming and editing and remaking this video from scratch. I can't really say when this video will see the light of day exactly, but I promise that I'm hard at work behind the scenes to get all this content out to you guys, and I'm really excited for you to see it. But until next time, this has been F- signing out.